the Prison City Podcast. When the bars go up, you're officially locked in.
Welcome to the Prison City Podcast. I am your official host, Patrick W. Cutler, and we have a killer episode here for you tonight. We have a special guest, Cole Kennedy's going to come on and talk about several things in regards to aliens and everything else. A lot of cool topics tonight. On top of aliens, we're going to talk about the ongoing war in this country. And I think that we know what we're talking about, and that the war is the war on prison pizza here in George, Montana is raging out of control. People going out to local business for no reason whatsoever. And we're going to explore that just a little bit tonight, maybe touch on it a little bit, and then move on to the alien stuff. So with all that said, I hope you guys enjoy this new format. And one thing I'm not changing is the individual intros here. And I'm going to go right to Mahomes. If you want to join the show here, how are you feeling about everything tonight?
I'm thrilled, man. I like our new format. I'm really excited to hear what Cole has to say. I'm obviously pretty interested in all this alien stuff, as per last episodes. If anyone is still following along, I feel like I'm excited and also like really interested to see how long before he hates us. I'm giving him I set the over under at 16 minutes. So let's see if we can keep it.
Definitely. Matt, welcome to the show tonight. Sir, how are you doing? Well, maybe this new format isn't the best format.
He's there.
Hey,
he's
I'm doing
up.
good. Am I having some internet issues?
I just clipped out for a second, but you look fine now.
Let's say, are we having some internet issues?
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, because you guys were clipping out when I was trying to watch you.
Oh.
Anyway, I just want to say shout out to the New York Knicks for being the shittiest team in the NBA. Lost another bet on them, so yeah, fun times, and I'm so glad we have baseball here. So I'm glad we can get to watch that every single day. I don't know. I can't tell if you guys can hear me or not.
We can hear you, and we can hear you, and nothing but good vibes coming out of Matthew.
Yeah. So Kelly, welcome to the show. Fresh off Ash Wednesday and the dot on your head and everything. How's that going?
Yeah, just got done with Ash Wednesday Mass, so I feel holier than thou, and I am not going to curse on this episode whatsoever. Left the ash on my head to remind myself not to say anything dumb. This is my test run for going live next week. I'm really excited to talk to Cole. Pat really told us a ton about you, and by a ton, I mean absolutely nothing. So I have no clue what we're going to be talking about. And yeah, that was a fun test, and I like the new format. And I'm ready to rock and roll. Prison City Podcast.
All right, cool. So let's bring on our special guest host tonight. It's Cole Kennedy from St. Michael Emergency Management. So Cole, if you want to join the show here and just kind of explain, everything that you do and who you are and whatnot.
Yes, sir. I'm Cole Kennedy. I will be your emergency management and safety specialist today. I'm also Catholic, but I didn't have a chance to go to Mass today because I just recovered from the flu. But this is the first time I've done something like this, so I'm along for the ride.
Yeah.
The flu still exists, huh?
Yeah, it does.
I'm sorry you got it.
Yeah. So as an emergency management specialist, what exactly does that all entail?
Well, emergency management has to do with disaster preparedness, mitigation, response, and recovery. A lot of people match up emergency management with places like FEMA, the Department of Homeland Security, and nonprofits like the American Red Cross. And there are a lot of other great emergency management companies out there. But that's a lot of the things we do similar.
Is this wartime or natural disaster or both?
Mostly natural disaster. Civil defense has to do more with wartime, but obviously war does create disasters. So they do overlap in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Cool. You have any questions for him, Kelly or Matt, right off the bat?
I just wanted to say, like, your picture blew up on my screen, so I could see what you actually look like. But to start, I thought you were like a 70-year-old man. You looked a lot older than your picture blew up. I'm like, oh, this guy's young. But anyways, that's a side point. Where are you coming out of? Did Pat say tonight?
I live in Northeast Arkansas. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I've never been to Arkansas.
It's a beautiful place. Best state I've been to. I haven't been to your area though. I've heard it's beautiful though. Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Montana's really nice. Matt, do you have any insight tonight? Matt? Hello?
I'm getting extreme lag from everyone. Everyone else getting that?
If you wanna to go ahead and just sign out of the studio and sign back in.
Like, I don't even know if it's. Yeah, I just say, what happened to Zoom? Zoom was so easy. Now we're doing this horse shit.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
maybe sign out and sign back in.
Are we seriously this fucked up on this technology? Can you not fucking hear what I'm saying?
We can hear
Yeah,
you.
we can. It's working for the rest of. Oh god. Okay, so remember when we did that? Remember when we did that test on Monday or whatever, and he didn't show up?
Yeah, we did a test
Yep.
Monday on this, and
Just
he was
had
the
that.
one person that didn't show up.
It's kind of had all the makings. So you know what? Not everyone is a fan of the new technology, and I guess that's kind of how it goes, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good sample size. So
Yeah.
Cole, so being in Arkansas, do you mainly deal with just like flood stuff? Is that kind of your or probably hurricane too, I suppose, huh?
Well, mostly severe storms, tornadoes. The New Madrid Fault is a couple miles away from here. So earthquakes, flooding, and possible landslides if earthquakes do happen. And other, hurricanes do pass through whenever they go through Louisiana and then up through us. So we get a lot of flooding from them. But those are the main disasters that we deal with here.
Are you a big Razorbacks fan?
Yeah, I'll watch them. Yeah, definitely. Since I'm representing the Northeast, I'll watch a lot of the Red Wolves too. But I love the Razorbacks. Absolutely.
Oh, nice.
Based on everything you were saying about all those disasters, sounds like maybe you should move to Montana. You know, we don't have hurricanes. We don't have it. You don't got to worry about any of that stuff rolling through. I do say we do have earthquakes, and it's just me just being an absolute moron about the rest of the country. Like, I was like, well, people probably don't. It's us in California, and it turns out, Cole, you'll find out through the next hour or so. I'm an idiot, and you might learn that.
My brother actually spent some time in Montana. He says it was beautiful there, and yeah, I definitely want to see it in my lifetime. And I hear that in the wintertime, sometimes you get icicles in your house in Montana.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's probably cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, speaking of cold, I hope you're ready for some juicy hot drama in small town Dearborn, Montana. 'Cause you're about to get served up piping hot.
Let's
We'll
get to
get
that
nice
opening
and
topic.
warmed up.
So, Cole, where would you come in emergency management situations where local business called Prison Pizza is being bullied online by cyberbullies? Because that's where we're going, folks. Let's open this up here. Let's open this up here right now. We're going to go to this opening post. So, to give everybody some background on this, we run a local business in town named Prison Pizza. It's been built up for several years. It's one of the best businesses in town. The only pizza business here in the small town, Deer Lodge, Montana. About population 3,000 to 5,000 in the area. And we sold it. And after selling the business, we still own like the building and stuff. So we're kind of still involved somewhat. And Matt still works there. Whose screen's gotten completely black. I can only think that this might be a situation where these cyberbullies are blocking his internet connection from joining here.
It's honestly the only thing that makes sense right now. Either that or like we're getting hacked by Russia or something.
One of the things that's always irritating about people when you run a business is like the complaints online you get and whatnot. And you imagine like this, like you have a small town and you're there to support each other. And when you like go after like a small business in a small town, you're pretty much personally attacking like people that you're going to see every day. Like is the we're going to go with this here is pretty interesting because one of the people that currently run it, we'll talk about this person. She'll be like, I see her all the time. It's just weird that she would go out and do this, but then when she sees me in person, she's just all nice and everything. So we're going to deal with some online bullying here that happened a couple days ago. It broke on her page. This is what she posted when she decided to start bullying this business online. Are you ready for this, Mahomes?
Oh, we're doing a screen share. Are we? Is that what's going on here?
So here it is. Here's the screen share.
Oh man, we're just outright naming the person too.
Well, it's just all public too. So I don't know if they cover this in emergency management systems and whatnot services, but this is called what you call a baiting question. So what she's doing here is baiting people to like argue about and bash this local business named Prison Pizza. So when anybody posts like I miss pizza used to compete in town with Prison Pizza until we ran them out of business. Basically during COVID, they actually ran themselves out. So whenever someone says I miss pizza, or I wish there's another pizza, you're setting up the question to directly go in there and bash Prison Pizza. So she starts out with the baiting question, which is kind of a low-level thing to start out with, and then this makes it look like she didn't say anything mean or anything like that, and she wasn't going after the business. Now, let's just jump right in there and see what this innocent little post gets to. Here we go. And I only got a couple comments. I didn't go. They get pretty nasty, so I didn't feel like showing all of them. But it's just interesting. So here you go. So immediately, at least they had better customer service. Me too. Amen. Me too. Then Mahomes. Not all heroes wear capes. Just look at Kyle Gillette here as he states, I have ordered Prison Pizza about 3 times within the past year and a half, roughly. And every time, the crust was burnt. Not a delightful, crisp, golden brown, but fucking burnt, as in black. And it's just not worth the hassle to complain, as this entire comment is complaining. So what do you think of those first kind of comments there?
Who are you opening it up to? You know what? Let's hear from a completely impartial person. Cole, you've never had their pizza. It's delicious pizza.
Oh,
Well, definitely.
we don't even own it anymore. That's the funny part.
It's a good name. I know that. It's a lot of drama. It looks like.
Well, drama there. Hey, let's go live to Matt. Hey, Matt, you want to comment on that?
can you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you guys are acting like you couldn't hear a word I was saying, so I'm trying to figure it out. Once again, there it goes.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you just fine. You keep like stopping what you're saying, but we can hear you just fine.
Yeah, I thought you were going to jump
No,
in.
every time you go to talk, it's like a big gap between nothing. It's like, okay, did they hear anything? Or
That sounds good now.
All right, so go ahead. Say your comment on that.
yeah, I don't know. Prison Pizza. That's all people seem to talk about in this town because they're so miserable with their own lives, and that's the only shred of shit they have to talk about because they seriously have never left this town in years, which is freaking horrible. It's called being dereligionized. It's like institutionalized. You never leave the town. Soon you start to depend on the town, and you're too uncomfortable to leave. So that's my 2 cents.
From your perspective, Cole, are you from a smaller town in Arkansas, or?
I go back and forth between a larger town and a smaller town.
But yeah, I think all of us have noticed. I've lived between Deer Lodge, Pittsburgh, Alaska, and I've noticed in all 3 locations there's definitely a lot of people that like their hometown and stay there. And
Town this random guy in Arkansas that deals in the medical practice. He's like, come on, kind of talk about what you do. Anyways, we sold this business. And all these guys are talking shit. What do you think about that?
That's why I set the over-under at 16 minutes, and we're just about there before he's like, you know what? I got other stuff to do.
He's like, is this like that In Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis? Because something doesn't seem right here.
all right. Well, let's go on to the next comments.
You know what? I will ask this. It's unrelated. What's your opinion on social media? That's a fair question because I think it is the scourge of society. But that's just my opinion.
What did you just say about social media?
I think it's the scourge of society. It's the worst thing we have going.
Yeah. Well, my take on Prison Pizza, one, we don't own it anymore, but two, yeah, you kind of feel you want to back a business that you sold to someone. You want them to have success. But when we were there, man, people complain all the time. And it's like business has only gone up the last 5 years. So I don't worry about it whatsoever. I don't know why anybody would worry about it because if nobody was coming in and buying the pizza and we were going broke, we couldn't pay our power bill. Well, then I would kind of start questioning some things and say, maybe these guys are right. Look, we've all gone to restaurants and had a shitty meal, but usually, you just leave with your friends or your family and go, well, that sucked. You don't go online. And I don't get that back to the social media thing, Mahoney. I don't get going on and just, scourging people or whatever you just said about it out in front of in public. Back in the day, you'd say that to your wife or to your best friend, but you would never go in front of you're basically in front of thousands of people on Facebook. Are you going to go grab a mic, at Territorial Days? Listen up. Is this thing working? They burnt my pizza. Prison Pizza sucks. I miss pizza. You would never do that. So it does suck. Like social media does suck in that way.
My perspective on this entire thing, I said it on some other posts that I won't show tonight, was how do we allow this to be like a socially normal thing in like a small town where this business gets bullied online all the time? It's not like a one post. This happens out of nowhere. This happens like all the time. So how can we make it this? How can this be acceptable behavior? How can we accept this as like normal behavior that you should be able to go out and just bash this prison pizza restaurant whenever you want? Like, why is that a cool thing to do? That was what I was calling out. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. It's not. I guess it is socially acceptable to some people, but I mean, those are the people that you probably don't want to deal with in real life, and you never would. If social media was never out there, you would never even hear these people's stupid thoughts and opinions. They would just be buried in their inner circles, which you'd never be in their inner circle, and they'd never be in your inner circle. So that's why I don't worry about it. I just think it's just funny that it's exposed now, and just like, really, this is really what you want to talk about. This is really what you want to dedicate your life to.
I think it's, and like I said, you obviously can't go after people that complain all the time, but just calling it out just one time, saying, look, this is ridiculous. Calling it out like one time and making a point, I think is worth it. But yeah, I'm not getting on there every day and debating these things. So let's it's a waste of time. But
that was basically that was like one time in almost 5 years that somebody actually said something, but which was funny. It's funny to see the reactions and shit. And you were right, but to me, I just don't care. I just think we're so far beyond that grade school bullshit that and we don't even fucking own the restaurant. Whoops, forgive me, Father.
So check out, and this is where it continues on. This is where it gets even more nasty.
Hey, remember like 4.5 minutes ago when I asked Cole what his opinion on social media was? And you guys just talked right over him. I know I do. I'm sure Cole does.
We'll get back to that in a second. What's your name again? Oh, Cole. Every time, it's ridiculous. The last time we ordered, they had to remake it 2 times, and it took 3 hours to get it. And they thought we were going to pay full service. So you wanted the pizzas for free? You wanted fully made? They didn't even make it. It's a joke. It's like, what? It's like some of the stuff. It's like Matt's worked there. I've worked there. Some of the stuff is not even like accurate. Like I can guarantee you, this never actually happened the way she said it happened. Might have been busy. Pizza might have been late, something like that. And then we go down there. This is the lady that supposedly supported us. And now she's just bashes us all the time. Don't care for the pizza. I buy Craven at IGA. Craven's like the shittiest cheap little pizza at IGA. IGA is like a local grocery store. It's pretty good. Or make one at home from scratch. XOXO.
Jesus.
So yeah, and that's kind of like and you got the last one here. We ordered from Anaconda. I drive all the way to Anaconda to get prison or Pizza Hut. As much as I love supporting her in small business, I just can't anymore. As she denounces her support for small business and criticizes it, it's just like some of this stuff is just funny in a way. Matt, what do you think of all this?
I think I got a very small window before my phone fucks up. But yeah, I want to say, with any small business, you got to keep your opinion to yourself. It's kind of, if you have a shitty meal, just don't eat there. That's a simple principle. I'm sure you guys have already.
Yeah, I agree. I was just going to future say, Matt, anybody that does future shows on here, like your screen on now appears publicly to everybody to see. So just keep that in mind. All right.
Your handle is funny.
And Cole, back to Mahoney's question. What do you think about the toxic?
Cole, do you like pizza?
Oh, I love pizza. I probably eat pizza like once a week, but it sounds like, to me that these people are fishing for a coupon, for free pizza or something.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys built this business up. You passed the baton. Sounds like they didn't take the baton very well, but I mean, a lot of these people are wanting some free pizza, probably.
Yeah, and that's the way you do it. So, and this is just to show both sides of this. This is what I stated after I stated this in my own public profile after I saw these complaints. This, like I said, this is just an ongoing issue. It's just every once in a while, it's good to just come out there and call a duck a duck. A completely non-confrontational post I made, only a complete and absolute loser would go on Facebook to complain about a local business in George. That's not me stating my opinion. That's a fact. Mahomes, what do you feel about that fact?
Yeah, man. That, like you said, super non-confrontational. Pretty much just not calling anybody out. Definitely knew that person wouldn't see it because you're probably not friends with them on social media.
Not anymore.
I would bet not anymore for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you go to a restaurant, obviously you want good food and shit, but it's just so simple to me. If like 4Bs, which is another restaurant in town, if they fuck up my breakfast 4 times in a row, someone like grilling a steak on here or something. If they fucked up my meal like 3 or 4 times, I probably just wouldn't go back. And then I'd probably just, tell my friends in the future, oh, you want to go to 4B's? Well, they screwed up my meal 4 times, But I don't know. I just disagree with calling it out on a public thing, trying to get, like Pat said, a mob going. But at the end of the day, I really don't give a shit. Just keep running your business. And if they want to be terrible people like that, let them be terrible people like that. But it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, worry about what you're doing. You'll be successful if you don't worry about everyone else.
Yeah, 100%. So just I only have a few more things on this and we can move on to aliens. So again, I never mentioned her by name. Never mentioned her by name at all. And she immediately goes in my comments and tells me, fuck off, Patrick. Let's call names because I have an opinion.
Language.
Yeah, language right there.
I mean,
the language there.
Can you edit that out? This is a family-friendly podcast.
You're going to go into someone else's stuff. Like someone else could have been complaining about a local business online. Like there's plenty of people that might do something like that because that's just kind of – so like I never even mentioned her by name and she tells me to go fuck myself. So this is where I want to show you like the behavior by people – on here that are just good. It's more
like crusty musty. Oh wait, that was last week.
Crusty musty. That was a. So let's just go. We have a really intelligent one coming here. His name's Austin Scholler. Austin, he just joined us.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Austin, I don't think even lives here. He represents Butte, Montana. So you're saying people can't have an opinion if it's as bad as they say it is, and then they will eventually go out of business. People aren't going to keep going to a shitty restaurant just because it's local and it was on a person's private post. Not true. So that's another thing, Moms. Would you consider a private post on Facebook if you make a post that goes out to like over 2,000 friends? Is that a private post?
Yeah, I mean that's tough. I don't know how, like, what constitutes privacy on Facebook, because like you make a post, yeah, well, that was meant for my friends. Well, you don't have 2,000 friends, so you're a fucking liar. But two, if like your friend shared it and stuff, like I've had people like Marissa's posts that are people that are my friends from like Milwaukee that she doesn't even know. So I don't think Facebook's really. I think you can put your settings private somehow, but I don't think it's private at all.
You can do your settings as friends only, but that's not. You're putting that over to a couple thousand people who are going to share it or whatever.
Well, and what about screenshots, and what about sharing? Like I see stuff on Facebook all the time, and we'll take screenshots or we'll send it in a chat. I don't think anything's private. You put it out there on Facebook, man. You better know that everybody, your own Catholic priest is going to frickin' see it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. Don't ever post anything on Facebook and think that it's private somehow. It's not like I think he meant they there. He has some literacy issues. They went on the Prison Pizza Facebook page and tagged all the workers saying how bad it is. It's not sure what he means there. They simply stated their pizza, that's the wrong use of the word there, was burnt. The other people took 3 hours to get their order. That's not how you do there. Also, again, it's THEIR. Right. You don't think people have a right to tell other people to maybe not go there if they had a bad experience? You're a loser. Good luck with your shitty little theater. I'll never do a performance there again. This guy is actually a local rapper from Butte, so he's really kind of one of the biggest winners you'll ever meet in your life. What do you think about Austin weighing in there, Mahomes?
I'm gonna let Austin say whatever he's got to say. That's the beauty of America, and the worst part about Facebook is social media in general, because everyone's a keyboard warrior. That guy'd never say that to your face. One thing I want to say as a quick side note, this is without a doubt the most we have mentioned like Catholicism in any one of these. We're talking about hope, and so big day for Catholicism.
Ash Wednesday.
Yeah. And Cole, like we said, just a quick little half-hour warm-up of complete nonsense before we get into the alien topic that we promised we'd talk about.
So, Cole, I've been waiting too. Or did you have any opinions on social media?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree that social media creates a wall that protects them from being hit in the face whenever they say something bad about someone else. And I actually deleted my Facebook 2 years ago whenever all that stuff came out about Mark Zuckerberg, and social media, I have a few. I don't have Instagram or Facebook anymore, but social media does connect us, and helps us feel less lonely, But yeah, social media has ups and downs,
It's a two-sided coin though, for me, because like I have suspended my account several times before. And they make it like if you're trying to run a business and marketing, it's really good for networking and marketing. But they make it so hard just to go on there and like run a business and not have to see other people's posts and stuff. Like they make that part of it really hard to do. So it's always challenging that part of it. Because me personally, I would probably not use Facebook at all if we weren't running business on there, because I think it's so toxic. I probably wouldn't use Instagram either because it's so toxic. And my biggest thing is I actually don't mind stuff like this. The stuff that I think we have a huge problem as a society is more the Instagram stuff where it's like, and people don't say, if I were to go on anybody, like any you guys' like profile, obviously you don't have one called, but also say any girl almost, and I could go look at all her pictures, and just based on looking at her pictures, I would think she had a perfect life. Like nothing at all was wrong. It was the happiest, most perfect life. And any girl or any guy almost anywhere on Facebook is just like that. So it creates this really bizarre paradox where you're looking at all these people and they're always happy. It's like, well, what about me? And it honestly makes you fucking depressed, right, Mahomes?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think we all generally know, like, there's the influencers that probably get paid to go to these vacations, and that's like, what a weird, like, line of work that is. If you'd have told me, even when like MySpace kind of first started, that all these years later people be making like a good living to influence people on social media, I'd have told you you were an idiot. And I was like too busy trying to find my favorite Fallout Boy to get to play when people visited my page, you know. So it's crazy to think how far it's come. It started so innocent as like a way to stay connected with people, you know. Like, I remember it was kind of right when we were in college and everyone had kind of gone their separate way. So it started as like this cool way to stay connected, and it really has morphed into just something. It's like a runaway train and you can't stop it.
I just think it's not healthy for a lot of people to be on these accounts all day. Like, the overwhelming majority, and this is why I say, you know, whenever you post, you have no idea who's going to be looking at. So every post you do, you should assume is public. But I think there's a ton of people, and we talked this before, like, that you know for a fact that they definitely go and read your stuff, but they never like it, never comment at all. They're just kind of on there to see what other people are doing. Because I can tell you this, because like there's certain people that like they're really like your stuff, but like if you were to send them like a friend request, they'd accept it within like a minute, because they literally spend like their entire day on social media on their phone. So I think it's interesting.
I'd say most people are not. What's the word? They're not engaged, or they're not posting. What's the word I'm trying to say? They're not actually posting on Facebook and liking and stuff like that. But most people are just trolling and reading it like a newspaper, and they don't want the drama. They just want to see like what everyone else is doing. Because I have, you know, like 2,300 friends, and you put a post out there, and a good post will probably get like 50 likes or 60 likes or views or whatever. And you know that, you know, there's probably more like 2,000 people seeing that. And they're just not responding, either because A, they're an asshole, or they're jealous or something, or B, they just don't want to. That's not what they do. You know, they just want to read it and move on with their life.
And I'm not saying that you should go on there and post negative stuff. I'm just saying, like, if you were posting your real life, you'd be having, like you said, in person, you'd be having more like real conversations about things. And
right.
And it wouldn't just be all the glory. Like someone, I think was it Floyd Mayweather or someone said that, like, I don't go on Instagram. It was like, why don't you go on? Because I don't want to go on and just watch it. Why would I want to go on there and watch everyone else's highlight reels? It's like,
right.
It's good, you know.
Well, that's exactly what Facebook is. That's the best part of Facebook and social media for me, is we are entertainers. We're in the comedy world, the theater world, the movies. And I like that. Just, it gives you a constant public, you know, you're in the public eye all the time, whether you're posting about your dog or trying to say something philosophical from the Bible or whatever. But other people that aren't like in the same business as we are, I think it's really dangerous, especially for young people, because that's not reality whatsoever. We're old enough where we know what reality is, and we know that, yeah, your life isn't that great, you know, because nobody's life has all ups and no downs. But young people, they don't really know that, because they haven't had the experiences we've had. They've had social media their entire frickin' lives.
Yeah, and it's interesting. And you know what, one that's kind of coming out where a lot more real stuff, because that's what I'm always looking for this. And the one app that me and Coleman on is called Vero, and it's called True Social Media, because it's supposed to be non-curated, meaning it doesn't create an algorithm that gets you addicted to be on it constantly, so they only show you a certain post. But it's a cool little social media app. But you should try. I mean, you shouldn't, but like TikTok is really interesting. There's people on TikTok that guys like deal with depression issues and stuff, that videos that they wouldn't post anywhere else. It's just interesting. Like TikTok, you can find some of the most real videos alive. You're like, whoa, that is freaking interesting as hell.
Yeah.
Have you seen that at all, Mounds or Kelly? Or are you even on the TikTok, Mounds?
No, my wife is super into TikTok. I feel like I don't need another social media.
Yeah. So your wife is probably like a lot of girls, where it's like a lot of girls go on there just to watch the laughing, joking, stupid videos. Like, I hate those videos so bad that the algorithm eventually saw that I wasn't going to watch even a second of those. So they got me to the guys on the verge of committing suicide, really positive stuff like that.
Oh, wow. So just the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
No, the more real it is, the more I want to watch. No, it sounds bad. No, I like the realness that the algorithm sets up, at least on TikTok. It gets you interested in stuff that's more real, and it's not just the fake Facebook my life's the greatest thing in the world. Look at me, whatever. But with all that said, I'm going to move on to the final 2 screenshots here, and then we're going to move on.
Oh my lord, we haven't even gone to. Man, 35 minutes.
Let's round those horses already.
No, let's talk. We brought Cole on to talk about aliens. He is never going to visit Deer Lodge, Montana. He is just being polite. He doesn't give 2 shits about what we're talking about.
So she then defriended me, and I had someone on the inside that would now screenshot her post and send them to me. Actually, I didn't ask her to do that, but she just started sending me her posts, and then this is what she started saying. It's like, apparently this guy is just fucking nuts. I was told he's a weirdo, but I guess it's true. Grow up. You know, it's kind of weird that I actually disagreed with her when she first posted this, because in reality, she is right. I am fucking nuts. No. I just thought it was weird that she did that after she started a post about bashing a local business, and then she came to my comments and told me to go fuck myself. And then she ends with this final one where now she claims like victimhood. And this is what a lot of people do, not just girls. A lot of people claim that they start a fight and they go after somebody, and then someone doesn't put up with it, and then they suddenly claim that they're the victims of this entire thing. So this is the last one. Thank you to everyone who has my back and has messaged me. You guys rock. For the real people that just spy, get a life, remove yourself. No one likes your day old trash. And she comments, I see 7 of the trashes took themselves out. And that's how I realized, you know what? You shouldn't waste your time with someone like that. So let's move on to aliens.
Yeah, you definitely couldn't waste the first 37 minutes of a podcast on people like that.
Hey, can I end the war on? Can you hear me now? I'm on my phone.
Yes.
Yep.
Can I end the war on prison pizza by saying all these people? It's not better than it was. It's not worse than it was. It's the exact fucking same. It's been the same since we started. But yeah, people can blow it way out of proportion
and look,
day-long debates about it. But go ahead. But
to Matt's point, I would when we were there as a family cooking and stuff like that, we never got complaints, or we got very few, you know. But you can't be there. We're trying to run the theater as well, you know. When you're running multiple businesses, you can't be there 24/7. You have to rely on other employees, and we've had good employees, we've had bad employees. So it's like you got to understand a small town, man. You don't have there's like 2,000 people live here. Not nobody, but a lot of people don't want to work. So it's not rocket science. Like maybe if you got a bad pizza on a Tuesday night, don't order on a Tuesday night because it's going to be the same chef. But honestly, when I'm there, when Matt's there, when our family was there, I literally can probably count the number of complaints on one hand in 5 years. But the last thing I want to say about social media, though, Pat, is that that's the other night I kind of had like an epiphany where I was just like, man, life is so fast and so chaotic. And I'm just tired of like, what is going on here? Is it the, drinking alcohol, or what needs to change? And that's why I said, it's the social media thing. So I've put some big parameters on myself. Like I try not to go on Facebook at all, but it's like what Pat said, you go on there to post, hey, we got a show in Helena on Sunday. And all of a sudden you read the first thing and then you're like, oh, what's this? And then you start reading. You don't even realize it's fucking happening. So I'm trying to like wean myself out of social media and do it less. That includes like our chat rooms and stuff, just because it's like just too much. Like I don't think the human mind is set up for this shit because it didn't exist until 10 years ago,
The news feed is what kills it, because you try to do just business stuff. The news feed sucks you in. It's designed to do that, and its algorithms are so fucking advanced and insane. Like they measure. I mean, you go to your news feed, they measure right off the bat. Okay, what's the first post I put on Kelly Cutler's news feed? Did he click on it? Did he keep scrolling after that post? And if you don't scroll after that first post that they show to you on your news feed, they're like, okay, that's probably not something he's interested in. So they'll find out another, and they'll just keep testing it until they get that post that like, I know if I put this person's post about this topic, Kelly's going to read it and keep scrolling on down. Like it's that fucking advanced. It's so advanced. It's crazy.
Right.
Speaking of advanced, how about alien life forms, huh?
Good segue.
So we're going to get to the main topic here tonight. Cole Kenny's here with us to talk. He had a post on a Rumble post the other day. Rumble.com is a cool video posting site. He had a post about how bad prison pizza sucked. No, he had a post, and I'm going to go share my screen. Let's see. share my screen here and show you one more thing on Prison Pizza. No, just kidding.
Please don't.
Let me go share this.
Hey,
So
Cole just loses his mind. Please fucking get on with it.
let me go.
No, I'm totally down for talking about prison pizza. You know?
See, what a nice guy. That's
Do you guys see this news article I'm showing right now?
Yes.
All right. So this is what Cole's video was on the other day. It was really interesting. So this happened December 2020. Again, this kind of flew it under the radar, and it's really freaking interesting. I saw his video, and we were doing alien stuff, so I started watching this video and all the stuff. Former Israeli space security chief says extraterrestrials exist, and Trump knows about it. A galactic federation has been waiting for humans to reach a stage where we will understand what space and spaceships are. And there's a ton of boatload of stuff that this guy, Haim Eshed, came out and said without this entire press release he had. The guy's book out and everything else. So just to show you who this guy is, he's a retired brigadier general in the Israeli military intelligence. And as you know, with Israel, they have direct, one of the biggest allies for the United States because they're the one country in the Middle East that doesn't hate us. So Eshed was director of space programs for Israel Ministry of Defense for nearly 30 years. This guy was at it for 30 years. Was a former chair of the Space Committee of the National Council of Research and Development for the Ministry of Space, Technology and Space, and member of the steering committees of Israel's Space Agency. I mean, this guy has one of the most credible resumes alive out there. And he's saying basically that it is a fact that aliens exist. That's the first part of it. And there's this galactic federation that the U.S. military intelligence has had contact with for a while. So Cole, go and take the stage. You were the one that kind of brought this to light for me, at least, and you had done some research on this. So yeah, what is this all about?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. There's a lot of mixed reactions. Some say that he's getting crazy in his old age, but I don't really think so. It's just weird. I'm very skeptical about this stuff. So he's a retired space security chief, I believe, and he says that there's underground base on Mars. There's a secret galactic federation society that Trump knows about, and that Trump was wanting to reveal it, but he was warned not to because it could cause a lot of problems and hurt his credibility and things like that. It's really hard to say. Whenever it comes to aliens, there's really no real way to prove the aliens are not real. Do I believe aliens are real? Not really, but would I be surprised if it was discovered that they were real? I probably wouldn't be completely that surprised. It'd be freaky, but I wouldn't be super surprised. And it's just pretty interesting stuff. A lot of people think that the reason Donald Trump created the United States Space Force is because it was kind of foreshadowing that we'll have to protect our planet in the future from a off-world threat. Mainly they're focusing on anti-satellite warfare and things like that, and also asteroid impacts and deflecting asteroids potentially in the near future. As you know, they sent that satellite out to that asteroid, near Earth asteroid, and they're going to crash it into that one I believe it's called Didymos and Didymos to practice deflecting asteroids. And I think this will kind of advance things into the future. But yeah, potential aliens. It's all really cool. What do you guys think about it?
So yeah, we'll get you guys' opinion, and I'm going to go through this in more details everything he's talking about right now. So we'll get to more details of it. But just based off that first stuff, just revealed now, what do you think, Mohammed?
I mean, it's super interesting. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'm actually more curious as what Cole, you said that you you kind of don't think aliens exist, and I think that's super interesting for someone who kind of has looked into this stuff. So, what makes you think they don't, as opposed to they do? I guess is my question.
I'm very much on the fence about it. There were, I believe, 2,000 something solar systems in our galaxy, and we've never seen a planet, the surface of a planet outside of our solar system. So there's no real way to prove whether or not aliens are not real. And I'm a very yes or no kind of person whenever it comes to aliens. Very on the fence about it.
Yeah. My thing is, the probability of extraterrestrial intelligent life not existing in the size of the universe and everything else, it's close to zero. I think the biggest question is why have they not made contact with this and all these different things. And that's kind of this article goes into more discussion. It talks about how they don't think human beings are ready for them to make contact with this. Kel, what do you think about all these things?
Yeah, I mean, they say that the universe is infinitely big, I mean, even scientists and astrologers and everything say that. So if it's infinitely big, then there's infinite possibilities, I always say, which means that aliens have to exist or other worlds just like ours have to exist. And if they don't, if it's not infinitely big, then it's, there's a limit on the universe, but they haven't found that there's a limit on how big the universe is. And I just don't see us as being the only ones here. And maybe the closest life to us is like so beyond light years away that we would never reach them, not in our lifetime, but doesn't mean they don't exist, And to Pat's point, like, we don't know if aliens have ever visited the Earth. Well, we picture aliens like we see them in the movies and stuff. Fucking other human beings could easily be aliens from other planets with an agenda, and you just don't know because they, don't go around telling people or whatnot. Or certain animals could be aliens. I'm like, you don't really know that aliens aren't here just because you never saw the green blobby thing that you're used to seeing on like the movie Signs. I think it's really interesting, and I do believe that there's no way there's no life that's not out there outside of the world, in my opinion.
Sure. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, going off what Kelly said. Sorry, I just had that line in my head from the Cowardly Lion. I do believe in spooks. I do believe in spooks. Yeah, I kind of throw aliens into my belief of ghosts. You really want to believe it, and you have like some pictures or so-called alien pictures or ghosts, tons of ghost stories, tons of alien stories. But yeah, my honest opinion is like, God, until I see it with my actual eyes, I don't think I'll be a full believer in extraterrestrial. Like, there's a lot of shit out there that lines up. Good coincidence, maybe, but I don't know. It's tough to wrap my head around, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's all really, really interesting stuff here. I'm gonna go further down here on this article because this whole article, like this release this guy did, is really freaking interesting. So let me share my screen here again. Here we go. Just a window. Go that window. All right, here we go.
Another prison pizza post.
I know. I wouldn't be surprised.
Another prison pizza post. Here we go. So let's go down to the main topics here of this post. The unidentified flying objects have asked not to publish that they are here. Humanity is not ready, said Haim Ashid, former head of Israel's defense ministry, space director. So again, this guy isn't just some random nobody. This guy is like, imagine like the head of NASA in the United States saying this stuff. That's basically what it's like, but he's in Israel. Respected professor and retired general, he said the aliens were equally curious about humanity, were seeking to understand the fabric of the universe and why everyone criticizes prison pizza online. He said cooperation agreements had been signed between species, including an underground base in the depths of Mars, kind of like what Cole's talking about, where there are American astronauts and alien representatives. I mean, this is not just him hearing a few things and thinking it's aliens. There's an agreement between the U.S. government and the aliens. They signed a contract with us to do experiments here. So let's just pause there. Again, like, these aren't like, because the critiques of this guy is that he's made available to like UFO type stuff or whatnot, but these are pretty damn descriptions of.
Well, let me just say really quick. Cole kind of said something about like people thinking that maybe this guy he's so old that he doesn't know what he's saying and everything. But as soon as he said that, it reminded me of like Neil Armstrong and other past presidents and high up people that are on their deathbed, and then they just start saying all this stuff, revealing all this stuff. Are they all just like losing it, going insane? Or are they like, I'm minutes away from dying or hours away from dying. I want to get this off my chest before I frickin' die. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. Doesn't mean it's not true or it is true,
No, I agree with that aspect of it.
Why would you tell a big lie right before you died too? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's why I'm leaning towards it. That's why I'm leaning towards it being more true. I do believe in spooks. So, Cole, I got a question for you, though. You say you don't really believe in aliens, but do you believe that you could get a good pizza at Prison Pizza?
Oh, man.
Oh, well, I guess if I watched it being cooked, if it's being burned.
And pizzas kind of look like flying saucers. We just get way off topic.
Yeah, they kind of do. Throw that up in the air, take a picture.
So, Pat, based on what you're saying, this underground base in Mars, like, we have to get to Mars before. Do you think that's why we're trying to get to Mars, so we can have this in-person grand meeting?
Some way. There's a theory that Elon Musk is a alien. He's trying to get back to his home planet, but I don't know if it's completely credible though. It's an interesting story, but earlier you guys mentioned you hadn't heard of aliens contacting us in the past. Have you guys ever discussed the wow signal or anything like that?
The what now?
The wow signal, like that signal that came from a nearby solar system, but people kind of played it off as like just a satellite that passed over and got in the way.
We have not talked about it. And I would love to know more about it because I don't think I've heard of it.
The wow signal is pretty interesting. That's one of the things that they mentioned about alien contact.
How do you spell that out? Like wow signal or
WOW?
Yes.
WOU? Okay.
Oh, it's
so when did the wow signal?
WOW.
Okay, WOW.
Gonna do it, gangster. Cross the thumbs. WOW. Bone diggity dog.
Okay, I got it.
So when did tell us about the wow signal?
Well, the wow signal was just the signal that came in. Some astronomers were listening in to, I guess, listening in with radio satellites, and kind of heard this signal. And a lot of people just thought it was just a satellite that passed over and got in the way and created this bounce off. But some people also say that there's a nearby galaxy in that direction, and that it probably came from, or not galaxy, solar system in that direction, and it probably came from that solar system, and potentially aliens, potentially maybe not. It's.
I like how people say, they talk about Mars all the time, and once we land on Mars, but in the grand scheme of things, Mars is like moving from right here to half a millimeter away. It's like it's that's why I believe that there's other stuff out there, just because it's so fucking vast and so big. And Mars, it's huge for us. That's a huge step for us getting to Mars. But in the grand scheme of things, it's absolutely nothing at all. Like, you can't even say how small of a move that is compared to what we think we know,
Yeah, and it takes like 3 months to get to Mars, I believe. And,
wow.
The original settlers that settled America, it took about 3 months to get over from Europe. And, it's about equal, but without gravity. And Yeah, and I kind of do believe that like once we get people there and they start digging, they might find like some Martian worms or something like that, or maybe fossils of Martian worms.
Hey, check out this photo. Let me know what you think of this picture right here. This is really interesting.
No.
That looks
I,
like
was
a
gonna
great
say,
piece
I,
of
I know
pizza.
exactly what this is.
You should send that to the lady that was telling you F off or whatever.
Yeah, I would.
Well, it is Ash Wednesday, so I see Pat abided by the Catholic law there.
Yeah, I totally forgot. I didn't mean to do that.
That thing's just covered in meat.
Yeah, there was a single
Couldn't have
vegetable.
more meat on Ash Wednesday.
That's like double meats, please.
So let's look at some more of this. This article keeps getting more and more interesting here.
I think Father Joe went back in the vestibule.
I think so too.
Okay, come on.
I guess here's just while he looks. Do you think in the next 10 years a human will be on Mars?
Oh, absolutely. I think we'll probably go by 2028.
Oh wow.
I
6 years.
think it's very possible. We'll go on with this article. There's an agreement between the U.S. government and aliens signed. Okay. He added that this is kind of interesting. President Donald Trump was aware of the extraterrestrials' existence, had been on the verge of revealing information, but was asked not in order to prevent mass hysteria. And this is a continuous narrative spun by the U.S. government that they don't want to reveal this stuff due to mass hysteria. That's why these secrets are kept this way. They've been waiting until a day for the end to develop a stage where we'll understand in general what spaceships are. So just on that real quick, to prevent mass hysteria, do you think the government releasing some of these UFO stuffs in June, which they actually didn't really release much when you actually look at it, do you think that's kind of a step towards, well, maybe we could get them more comfortable with UFOs, aliens, there won't be like mass hysteria when we do something big? I don't know.
Yeah, I think. If they don't want to reveal everything, they could at least do like baby steps, saying, this might be true, and then kind of saying probably true, and then it's true. But yeah, sorry, I didn't quite get the whole question.
Yeah, what do you think, Mahomes?
I think, that's probably the most logical thing to do is just kind of give it to us in bite-sized pieces. Because, in general, I don't think just the human population takes like big news well if it's all at once. So it's probably not a bad way to do it is be like, yeah, I have seen some weird stuff in the sky. Oh, okay, so I guess, UFOs are real. And then all of a sudden, yeah, it turns out, this whole probe thing was going on, but I got to get my prostate checked when I get a certain age. That happens to everyone. So, right?
So you say bite-sized pieces is what?
No, I'm absolutely not going to play into that game.
Hey Pat, that pizza I made today for you. Actually, Stewie made it, and I was like, "Did you check on that pizza?" He's like, "Oh shit!" So we got it out. I was like, "Oh shit, it's gonna be burnt." Just what he doesn't want. But it turned out okay.
No, I don't really care. Honestly, when you use fresh ingredients, you really can't make a bad pizza. So
There's no other podcast on the face of the planet that bounces back and forth from fucking pizza to aliens.
And that's just what you said is such a horseshit statement. You can make of course you can make a bad pizza with fresh ingredients. Like, you can make a bad anything with anything.
Oh, so you're saying I'm a little bit biased with Prison Pizza on here?
That's why we fired him, Mahoney.
He's delivering it. It's on fire. Hey, fresh ingredients.
Yeah, that's the slogan for Prison Pizza. Be burnt, but it tastes good because of fresh ingredients.
Hey, I got a question for Cole that goes back to Pat's last question about mass hysteria. You live in Arkansas, so how how asleep do you think people are? Because like if I learned something from the government, like aliens are among us or aliens exist, I don't think I would personally lose my mind just because I kind of already I'm open for anything. Like nothing really surprised me anymore. So I'm like, apparently I'm not like a bunch of other people or most people, which is crazy to me. But how asleep do you think people are with anything in life? Do you think they're just like so manipulated? How is it in Arkansas? Does that question make sense at all?
I think most people I've met are skeptical about it.
Do they think outside the box is what I'm saying? Like, do people down there think outside the box at all? Or is it just like, as Pat likes to say, do as your TV set tells you to do, just believe whatever the news tells you is are they more like that? Or are they more like open-minded, I guess?
It's probably about 50-50. Some are skeptical, some follow all the rules, believe everything they're told. And I don't know, every once in a while you'll meet someone who believes, dinosaurs are put in the ground because the government put them there, but it's really hard to say. Everyone's different around here. And I believe a large populace would understand that aliens are real,
I think there's a percentage of this population that there's this collective consciousness going on where it's like a lot of people are waking up and seeing how the world truly is. And there's a percentage of people that are waking up and seeing that how it truly is. And then there's a percentage of people that are almost like zombies. They just want to believe whatever the TV set says. And then I think there's a percentage that goes into, like, I'd say my dad's category of, he doesn't really give a shit. He just wants to, go home, drink a case of beer and watch his favorite NFL team. So it's like,
is that Mahoney's category too?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like, go ahead. Everyone scream and yell about whatever. Please don't involve me. Please.
What would you rather do? Join in the battle for the collective consciousness of this world, or just have a case of beer and watch a football game?
Again, if there's a big thing going on and I don't need to be involved, please don't involve me in any way.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think, Matt?
I would say the mass hysteria, like we're talking about, they came out and said, yeah, aliens are real or blah, blah, blah. I think it would be like people are preparing for World War Z or whatever. Not World War Z, but War of the Worlds, kind of like, okay, aliens are coming down here and blah, blah, blah. And I think most people's priorities would focus mainly because of the fear factor. That's why I think, I don't know, it's very interesting. Because even when we talk about creepy shit on here, like, yeah, it's cool on the surface, and I'll get to bed and think about some of the stuff we're talking about. Like, oh my God, am I cursed because of this or this? Or is alien going to come down and probe my asshole or something?
My problem is when you're right in the middle. Pat and I just had a conversation. Jesus Christ. I don't know. Are you guys getting feedback like me? It sounds like someone's
That's Matt.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyways, I feel like being right in the middle is hard to do, and all I feel like I'm on this earth to do is try to seek the truth. And when you're so obsessed with the truth, I'm like, I don't care what the truth is, how painful it is, how bizarre it is. I just want the frickin' truth. That's all I care about. But when you have crazies, we know we all are on a spectrum, not just politically, but in all walks of life. You have crazies completely on the left and completely on the right. It's hard to find like what the truth is when everybody's kind of like screaming one thing or another. And that's what drives me nuts. And that's why I'm interested in like government. Just tell me about aliens. What is the truth about aliens? What's the truth about any conspiracy theory out there? And if I'm fucking wrong, I want to be proved wrong because I just want to know what the truth is. And I think that's harder and harder to determine what the truth is in this day and age.
Another thing I would say is that it's weird to me, really interesting, because we're like this is like the information age. Like we have access to more information than any time in history, yet it also feels like a good portion of the percentage can easily be manipulated into believing whatever the TV set says. It's just such a weird dynamic that people would be so hardcore to defend what comes out of their TV set. And if that's a metaphor, like obviously most people watch the news on their phone or whatever else, but they would be on that side of the fence where they're so hard going against anything that happened, these last 2 years.
You know what I hate? I hate when people say, maybe you should do your research. I fucking hate hearing that because it's like, okay, what is research? Because research to the left is different from the right, Should I watch CNN? Should I read this article that's over here on the Huffington Post? Like, what is actual research? Because maybe your research is flawed. Maybe it's bullshit. So don't tell me to do my research when you could look at 10 different sources and they'd all say something different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'd say it's to do, and it's in real research. Is you go on there with an actual theory of whatever, and you try to prove yourself wrong. That's what real research does.
Yes.
But there's so many people in this boat though that they label you as a conspiracy theorist if you simply want to think your own thoughts and do your own research.
Even if you ask a question.
Yeah, just asking the question. Like Joe Rogan about the vaccine stuff. He just sat there and asked a question about it. He said that's what he does. He just questions. He brings people on. Maybe they're not all great, but he just asks questions on there. Like, should it be illegal, Cole, to ask questions?
No, not at all. I think Joe Rogan does a good job. He's, I hear that he's like a left-leaning moderate, but he brings on both sides of the story on every subject he does, and that's why the left doesn't like him because they just want that one side, not the other.
And if the other side is so drastically wrong, the left and right both do it, but if the other side's so drastically wrong, who gives a shit if you bring them on a podcast or anything and talk about it? They'll prove how stupid and how wrong they are. The problem is they don't want them to come on there because they start to make a little bit of sense and you have to question your entire fucking life before you blow your brains out. It's true, Pat, isn't it?
It's funny. I like Rogan simply because what Cole just says. Like he's all over the place. Like he isn't really a right wing or left wing guy necessarily. Like, he's all over the place on things, and he stands up for what I believe which is total freedom of speech. That unless you're doing something that is intentionally malicious or bad, like these major companies and these ways that we communicate these devices should not be so heavily regulated to the point where it's like you say something about COVID or the election or whatever, and you're instantly taken down or censored. It's just like, if you are so completely right, why do you have a problem with me stating a fact about these things that is inconvenient to you?
I think people's egos get in the way. They start believing something 100%, and you will shatter their entire freaking reality if they find out that they're wrong about something, especially something big like religious stuff or politics or whatnot, or aliens, for God's sake. I just think egos are so far involved that you can't see past that. But for me, I try to push that aside. I'm just like, give me the freaking truth. I think this looks like a duck. Is it a duck? If I find out it's a giraffe and you show me it's a giraffe, I will gladly say, oh, yeah, it's a giraffe. I was a fucking idiot.
Okay, look, on Sunday, we had someone drastically go out of their way to defend their right to completely destroy a local business. So, yeah, egos are a huge part of that, right, Mahomes?
Well, yeah, and it's funny that after all that time bringing that up, that you are on here defending freedom of speech. I think that's a touch ironic. Yeah,
I was more just quoting the eagle part more than whether she should be allowed to be. I'm not going to say that. I'm done talking about it. All right, moving on. Now, Cole, you got to come to Deer Lodge just to have a slice of prison pizza.
Absolutely. And I bet there's a direct flight straight from Arkansas to Deer Lodge, Montana.
Yeah, probably. And our galaxy is a spiral galaxy, which kind of looks like a pizza. So prison pizza. Yeah.
Are you a big Bill Clinton fan since he comes from your neck of the woods?
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
I was on my honeymoon last May, man, and we came down. We traveled from where we are right now all the way to Miami, Florida. And we came down. I wanted to hit as many of those states down there as I could because I've never been down there. And it just Arkansas was a little too far out of the way for justification to go there. But we dipped down into Alabama and stuff. But one day I do want to come to Arkansas and Louisiana because I hear it's great.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah, I that's one of the things I went to Miami like a little over a month ago, and that was the first time I've ever been down south. But I know Miami isn't a representation of the entire South, obviously. But I would like to go from kind of similar to what Kelly did, maybe start like in the middle of Texas and just go through the entire South, because that's the one area I'd say that in the northeast. I've been all the way up as far as like Philadelphia, but the South is the one area I've never really touched hardly at all. I would love just to check it out and see what it's all about.
Yeah, I've been to Destin and Pensacola, Florida, but I've never been to Miami myself.
Yeah.
So what's the most north you've been, Cole?
I've been to Canada a couple times.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? What?
Yeah, I went to Niagara Falls, and then I've been to Ely, Minnesota, and then the Boundary Waters. So, and
Yeah, we've three of us on this show have been up to Toronto before for a Pope Festival.
Yep, good Catholic boys going up to see the Pope in Toronto.
Yeah, but yeah, it's cool to get out and travel, I would say, because like other people get out, and I've heard like we had a friend that went out to West Virginia years ago, and he came back. It's like, yeah, West Virginia is just like Montana, man. It's just like the same. It's like I've been to West Virginia when I was living in Pittsburgh. I'm telling you, it's not the same, like at all. Like it's not. You have hills, you don't have mountains. It's just
you have inbreeding, we don't.
You have like
no. I mean, like,
yeah.
I think all 50 states have a little bit of inbreeding.
No, not Montana.
The craziest thing. This is one of the craziest things out of any state I've been in. To West Virginia, by far, has the worst fucking roads possible. Like main highways, just going to little fucking dirt roads out of nowhere. And it's like, am I even on like a thing at this point? Like, I can see people easily getting lost in West Virginia.
So
like,
wrong turn got it right, huh?
Yeah, they're actually
wrong
dead
turn.
right. Like, yeah. Where it's like Montana, we have a main highway system that connects you to pretty much everything. I mean, the worst is like maybe a 2-lane road, but you could still go like 70 miles an hour down in the river. Now, like 7 miles an hour going across some bizarre farmhouse in West Virginia. So I got one more thing to share here, and this is really interesting. It comes to aliens and prison pizza.
I really hope there's not a tie-in.
There's the tie-in.
Hey, a little tie-in to a couple weeks ago, Krusty Musty, right, Mahoney?
That's true.
I walked downstairs here, and she was in my garage the other day.
No
Hey,
way.
yeah.
Yeah, she's working. She's working for the guys that are doing our
that's right.
construction.
Was it like
No.
seeing a celebrity?
No,
Yeah, I was
Mark,
like, "Can I get your autograph?"
she's not working for the guys doing the construction. She's doing the guys working the construction.
I actually,
Well, at least I don't have to pay her.
yeah, I actually kind of feel sorry for that. I feel like go after like people like that hardcore. Like that was pretty hardcore going after. That's a Facebook post. I'm going to try to find maybe bring that up. It's a pretty funny one. You'll like. You'll
Jesus.
get a kick out of it. Should I bring that one up?
No. she's not.
Yeah, a girl went after another girl on Facebook for cheating on her husband or boyfriend. I don't know. She called her Krusty Musty because, well, let's just not get into that. All right, let's get on to.
I was going to say we could bring in our field reporter Moose because he had more to that story about how they kind of attacked her at a bar and shit. But that's we can talk about that at another episode.
Yeah, there was an attack at a bar recently. God, we should just make the show all about stuff like that.
Yeah, and bring on random guests from super far away that don't give a shit.
Hey, I know it's late there, but we would actually like to waste an hour and a half of your time. Guess what? You can never get it back.
Moving on here in front of you. So this is interesting. This happened in December. The Pentagon office, they opened a new Defense Department group that will oversee U.S. government-wide investigations in UFOs. And I thought it was cool. It sounded like a cool idea, like they're making progress and trying to reform things or whatever. But a lot of people that are involved more directly in the UFO type stuff see it as a way for the U.S. to really control these investigations and transparency, and really make it even more difficult to get awareness about UFOs, stuff that are coming out. The U.S. government's examination of unidentified flying objects, warning that the move indicates the military wants to end a brief spell of transparency and shove UFO reports back into a closet under lock and key. It quietly announced this group formed the esoteric-sounding Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group, working with the intelligence agencies. It serves as a follow-up on a government-wide effort earlier this year to document, analyze reports of encounters with unidentified objects. And again, they keep changing the jargon to call something new. Reports to the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security will now oversee the entire government study of UFOs. So if you basically kind of read between the lines, it sounds more like they're trying to get more control over the investigation of UFOs and try to control more. Or Matt, what do you think about that new group?
I don't know, Pat. I think the government's a very scary thing. So I guess it kind of goes back to my one point. If you release all the aliens thing, then how crazy the mass hysteria would be. So I would say, I don't know. Let's shift the question to someone else, because I was accidentally checking my shit here, make sure it worked.
Mahomes, what do you think about that?
I mean, it's another bite, right? Bite sizes, just another bite that we're taking now. Okay, like now let's actually investigate UFOs as a government, and then we can give a little more information so they don't freak out when we land on Mars and we're doing a big press conference with another alien as we land.
Yeah. We might be, you might be. You never know. You never know who's watching this. What do you think about that, Cole? That new office setup?
It's pretty interesting. I mean, some people think some of these UFOs could just be like other countries, China, Russia. But yeah, it's definitely something we should look into, because it definitely could be otherworldly.
Otherworldly beings.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that defending the homeland is important, and investigating UFOs, and I'm glad that we're doing this.
Yeah, 100%. It's an interesting topic. I'm not sure if I agree like how they're doing it. I still don't fully understand this new department, but it's kind of interesting. What do you think about that, Kelly?
I have a lot of trouble trusting the government whatsoever, and I just think that they ruin everything. The government just sucks. They're so fucking worthless. Besides, having our military and, the protection and the homeland security, like Cole said. But outside of that, I just think the government messes things up, and you're never, as a citizen, it doesn't really matter, because you're never going to know the full truth with them if you're going to know any part of the truth. And that's just my 2 cents. I just can't stand government operations like this. And we pay for it too, which is the fun part.
So, yeah. So, Mahomes, back to you. How do you feel about me I'm on Facebook right now. I'm just going to pull some screenshot of a random post and put it on the show. How do you feel about that?
I got to tell you, I don't love it. I don't love it at all.
Yeah. Hey,
well, it's about time to round those ceases, Pat.
Yeah, it's about time to round those horses here.
Man.
Yeah, I think that's all. It's the whole kit and caboodle for the most part. Shoot.
I want to ask Cole what time it is there. Is it 10:30 or 11:30?
It's 10:36. Yeah, so we're an hour ahead.
Okay, you're central then. Yeah, that's
you got another 2 hours in you then.
All right, yeah, he's actually getting on. He's getting on another podcast after this one.
This is bring our special guest in, Mike Freeze.
Mike Freeze is out there listening. He's one of our biggest fans. He also loves coming on here. Yeah. So I'm going to announce. Well, actually, I'll wait till we do our final thing. I have a topic for next week that's going to be interesting as fuck. I've been thinking about it for a while. I think it's going to be a really cool topic. And it has nothing to do with Facebook or your online drama and dodge, unfortunately. So let's round the horns here.
Boo.
Kelly, you go ahead and what's your final word on tonight's episode?
I don't know. We talked about a lot of different things from, the local drama to social media to aliens. I would just say out there, I agree with Mahoney all the time that social media sucks. It can do a lot of good if you own a business or something like that. But outside of that, we all need to just get back to the real world and stop fucking around and having these little titty fits that you would never have ever in front of someone's face. And yeah, support local business. I mean, it's one thing to go to a Chicago restaurant and say, yeah, that pizza sucks. Because they have several million person customer base. But in a small town, it's really tough in the month of February or January to get business. So try to support as much as you can. And if you can't, well, just don't eat there anymore and don't tear it down for other people. But it's been a fun podcast. I want to thank our special guest for coming on as well. It's nice meeting you, and I hope to get down to Arkansas one day. It's one of those states that I haven't been to yet.
Yes, sir.
All right.
It's good meeting you guys too.
It's actually pronounced Arkansas with the S is not silent.
There's actually a great bluegrass band here called Arkansas. They're great.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's awesome. That's catchy.
Yeah. So Matt, what's your final word for tonight?
So I just have to say, sometimes new equipment, the fucking internet sucked ass. So I apologize for any talking smack about this new equipment because it's working fine now. Of course, now that we're in it. But anyway, I just have to say with the prison pizza, anything else we talked about is see how you can get so emotional about something, but then you go to bed and you wake up and you're feeling completely different. Like you can be pissed off and you go to bed and wake up like, okay, why did I say that? Or why did I do that? Or why did I post that? Or, why did I think that way? So it's amazing what sleep can do for one's soul as I pass out.
And yeah, that's why temporary posts sometimes are cooler than a full blown post. I've went through and actually hidden all the posts I made about prison pizza the last a couple days simply because the way Facebook's algorithm works is the negative comments are just going to filter through there for a week straight, and I just don't want to deal with that negativity. So I actually have hidden those posts. I've buried the hatchet clearly and I've moved on with my life. Mahomes, what's your final take on that?
Honestly, man, I'm glad to hear that you finally moved on. I think you've shown that today. Certainly, you've done nothing but be just move right along, have no issues with it. I'm super interested in I'm excited. Cole thinks we're going to get to Mars in under 10 years. How about that? Cole, thanks for coming on. I can't imagine you're going to have a more random night in this month for sure. Potentially this year. So I appreciate you coming on, man.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, Cole, with that, go with your final statement on the night.
Oh, okay. Well,
anything you want to say?
Well, I will keep focusing on emergency management, and I'll keep looking for aliens.
That's great. That is perfect.
Yeah, it's just been a great show here tonight, and my final statement, I'll just keep it kind of short and simple here. Yeah, you definitely should support local businesses. It's never a good thing to go online and criticize local business. And I kind of feel bad for people who like to go on and criticize prison pizza because they're probably cursed and they're probably going to have a series of very bad events occur in their life here in the next couple of months. So that's really, too bad when you mess with someone who does voodoo. But anyways.
All natural ingredients at prison pizza,
Yeah, all natural ingredients. Next week, I have a topic I want to do for a long time. Or actually, I got this idea probably a month ago or 3 weeks ago. I want to do a topic and called, this is the title of the topic for next week. Which is worse for you, alcohol or pornography? And I want to go hard in this topic. It could be a shitload of fun next week. You looking forward to that one, Mahomes?
That's it. I mean, we cover a wide variety of things. I think I'll give us that.
There's a lot that I just want to dive into, and
And Pat, you didn't tell him we also have a special guest next week. He used to be a pastor in town of the Pink Church.
Oh, come on.
Hey, go out there and have a good Lent, everyone. It's Ash Wednesday, so smile and praise Jesus.